What's up? Um, I am going live on Instagram as well. So just give me a moment. Oh, I feel like I don't even know why I feel so nervous, truthfully, because I used to go live all the time. Um, I just tried to do something that didn't work. Let me just get off of this. Let me just come back to where I know where I'm at. Okay. Before I mess this up. Say what's up if you're here. Let me see if it's connected. I'm not waiting for people to get on. I'm just going to get right into it. But I don't see comments. Am I going to be able to see comments? If you're on Instagram, I don't think I can see your comments. I'm also on Facebook. I'm on the YouTube channel. It says nobody's watching. That's okay. Y'all know I will talk to an empty room, so it's cool. I'm gonna start even if ain't nobody here. How about that? How about that? Even if nobody else is here, I'm gonna start. Yeah, okay, so listen. Here it comes. They about the dog's about to start barking. I knew it. I knew it would happen as soon as I went live. It's like the old days of going live. I'm live. So if you could, I don't know who you are, but if you could be very quiet, that would be awesome. Who knows who's down there? All right, so listen, let's get into it. Let me just get into it. What's up? What's up? What's up? I know I'm kind of distracted. I want to close my door, but I won't. I was home alone and I just wanted to go live because I've been frustrated today. Not for all the reasons I've been frustrated before, but I've been very frustrated today. And part of that is it has to do with leadership, right? Being a woman in ministry leadership. And it just got me to thinking that while I was frustrated today, there are a lot of things I'm not frustrated about or things I used to be frustrated about. And one of those things is feeling like I was overlooked in leadership, right? I feel like God had called me, like I was being pulled towards something. Oh, that's hold on 1 second. That's gotta stop. It's just like the old days. It's because this is supposed to be after my work time right here. I'm not supposed to be working, but I got a word, so I got to give it to you. Oh, you're watching my yeah. Okay, I can't see your comment. If I pull it up over here, if I pull up IG over here, I can see it. Okay, so listen. One of the biggest things that I felt a way about was I felt like I was overlooked in leadership. I was going to this church, I was volunteering, I had been there for a long time, had been in some leadership positions, and I truly felt like the Lord was calling me to do more than I was doing, right? Not necessarily to pastor, but I felt like God was calling me to do more. I was very serious about ministry. I was very serious about like teaching Bible and leading and wanting to encourage um women. I wanted to use my gifts and my skills. I've been creating curriculum since 2006 for different programs, different organizations, and things like that, even for schools. And so I wanted to use those skills to help, like if I needed to create curriculum to help women really study the word of God and learn how to study the word of God, I was willing to do that. I wanted to help teens. I wanted to help the youth. I felt so I don't know, like I was just so on fire. I felt this thing down on the inside of me. And it's like I was so desperate for somebody to say, yes, I pick you. Yes. I was like the pick me girl. That's You're not supposed to be the pick me girl, but that's what I was like. It was like I wanted somebody to pick me and tell me, yes, I believe in you. I believe that God has called you. I believe that there's a gift in you. I wanted somebody to see something special and to give me a place. I was a part of a launch team and I was on that launch team for a year. And even in that space, I'm like, hey, leadership development is really important to me. And, I really want to be developed as a leader. I don't just want to be here setting up and tearing down. I want to be doing like all these things. And it was like, yes, that's what we do. But there was still not a person that I felt like took responsibility for me or like mentored me. Now, when I say took responsibility for me, I mean in the sense of, oh, I care about your growth. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you some books that I suggest you read. I'm going to share conferences with you. I'm going to tell you, hey, I'm going to this workshop. Hey, I'm going to this event that I think is going to be great and I think it's going to grow me. So I'm going to tell you about it so that you can grow. That's what I mean by take responsibility, not make me do stuff, but kind of guide me and mentor me in that way, especially because I was willing. I didn't just come in saying, hey, I want to lead. I came in serving, doing whatever I needed to. First of all, doing a job I didn't like doing, in both cases, actually, standing outside. I remember when I first started volunteering at the first church, I was outside. Do y'all know me? Do you know I don't want to be outside in nobody's weather, exposed to no type of elements, honey? I want to be inside. But I served. That's where there was a great need to serve. It could have great impact on people who were coming. And so that's where I volunteered, and I led and volunteered spaces like that. And so that being said, I just started to feel frustrated. And when I felt the Lord like calling me into this space, when I felt the Lord tugging me to like lead and to do something, I don't even know what. I just knew it was more than I was doing, more than just sitting in the room or sitting at a table and being quiet or not seeing problems and having a solution, being the solution, being able to solve the problem with the gift that He gave me in my hand. Oh, we need this. Hey, I have the gift. I can do it. I can help, right? And not being used in that way, that being overlooked in leadership really made me question whether or not I was actually called. It made me question whether or not God called me. Did I hear Him correctly? I felt like, well, I started out at this church and there was no space for me. There was no place for me. There was no avenue. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at the church. I was mad at the time. I ain't gonna hold you. I was mad at the time. Okay. I was definitely mad at the time, but I wasn't, I'm not mad, right? I felt like, oh, I'm here. I'm at this church and there's no space for me. There is no path to leadership development, not even a position, right? I'm not even talking about having a position in the organization. There was no path for leadership for a person like me, for a person my age, for a person in my, in the field that I was in. There was just no space there, didn't have a path for it. So I start to think, well, maybe the Lord hasn't called me because this place that I love, this place where I serve, this place where I'm fed, if they don't have a space for me to grow in ministry, then maybe God hasn't called me. Maybe I just like made this up in my head. Maybe it's my ego. Maybe I think it's cute to be in ministry or something. Like, I don't know, but I just thought maybe I got it wrong. If I'm not being called to lead where I'm serving, maybe this isn't what God has for me. And that broke my heart for some time. I struggled a little bit. And then I went to this other place. And then when this other place, it was the same thing. I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to be leading, because all these places I've gone and I've served, they don't want me to be leading. They're not choosing me to lead. They're not even saying, well, we don't want you to lead here, but we will develop you since you're serving. It was like, oh, I just felt so tossed aside, right? So I just went back to my first church. I just went back to that church. I'm like, I'm just gonna come. I'm gonna serve in the capacity that they allow me to serve in, and I'm just gonna wait on the Lord. Well, here's the thing with that. When you are not being selected or when you're being overlooked in leadership, you haven't been overlooked by God, because that's the one that's stirring this up. It doesn't matter what other people think. I know there's a lot of conversation about, oh, well, everybody want to be on stage, or everybody wants a title, and everybody wants, ain't nobody tripping on that. You know what the Lord said to you. You know that you have been resisting it. You know that if you could choose exactly what you wanted to do, you wouldn't have necessarily chose this, not because you don't want it, but because you don't feel qualified for it, because you wonder, who do you think you are, that you could do such a thing, that God might use you in such a way. And so those are the thoughts that happen in our head. So it doesn't matter what people say. I hear people talk about leadership all the time, and I know that it's hard. I lead. I know that it's frustrating. It can be aggravating. I know that it causes me to question and doubt myself. I feel the least qualified. I feel less qualified to do this work than I've ever felt in my life about any work that I've ever done. And that is 100% the truth. I've never struggled this much with like confidence in something that I was doing. And so I hear leaders all the time talk about like, oh, kind of making it seem like you haven't been called to lead. It's your ego talking. It's not your ego. Not the people I'm talking to. It's not your ego. Girl, you know you've been called to lead. There's this thing that you have been resisting, and it may not look like traditional ministry. It may look like traditional ministry. It may not be at the church you in. You know what I had to tell myself when I finally left and I finally started doing what God called me to do, that the Lord could use me anywhere I allowed myself to be used. That the church that I went to wasn't the only place that God dwelt, wasn't the only place that God had a word. It wasn't the only place where God expected kingdom work to be done, that he called me. And if he called me to it, if they didn't have a spot for me there, it meant that I wasn't supposed to be there and lead. Didn't mean I can't go there. I can go to church there. I can visit there, whatever. But it means my leadership post wasn't there. Sometimes you're in a space to grow and to develop to where you can see yourself the way God sees you. So to a point where you can hear the call on your life. Because when I first started attending that church, I could not hear a call on my life. I didn't even want the life that I had. Right. So, but in that space, under that leadership, under those sermons and teachings and all of that, I grew to a place where I could hear God, where I could hear from God, where I began to seek God, where I could feel this pressing down in my soul, in my heart. There was this fire that stirred up on the inside of me, and I wanted to shake it, but I could not shake it. I wanted to shake it, but I could not shake it. And so, I struck out and I started studying the word, and I started leading Bible study, and I just was leading Bible study. That's it. I'm just trying to lead Bible study. The world had shut down. I'm just leading Bible study. And then lo and behold, it turns into a church. It evolving into a church is the thing that really caused me to start seeing myself as a leader, right? And I was naive in thinking that because I had a congregation that assembled every week to hear me preach, teach, lead, and disciple, that meant that wherever I went among kingdom people, I would also be seen as the leader that I am. Right? So whether that is for networking or community building or relationship building, and that just did not happen. It just did not happen. I worked with a ministry here in Charlotte. He was very kind. He was a non-traditional pastor. Those are the pastors that rock with me most of the time. They're non-traditional. He was a non-traditional pastor. He had a very interesting past. He had a very interesting past. And so he had a church and he had a ministry. And I found him through a flyer on the street. And so I was doing some work with him and his ministry. And because he was a pastor and he knew that I taught Bible, he invited me to this meeting. It was like this, I don't know, like a little meetup for pastors. Right? They were all pastors or deacons or leaders. And so he was like, hey, I got this meeting. We mostly just kind of get together and talk about church stuff. And, I don't really know a lot about that stuff. So I figured I could bring you with me. We can go in there, we can connect or whatever. And then, you can break it down for me. I'm like, okay, cool. Listen, I went to this meeting, child. I've never been ignored like that before in my life. I was shocked. I was actually shocked. I never been ignored. I've never been in a place where people didn't want me there and they were okay with letting me know they didn't want me there. Never. Now I've been in some places where you can feel somebody ain't want you there, but they not about to say nothing. They're not going to say they don't want you there. They're not going to say nothing to you. They just going to be nice because that is the politically correct thing to do. I've never been in a space where people made it so clear that I was unwelcomed. Like when I spoke, like when I opened my mouth to speak, my contributions were actually ignored. I never seen nothing like that before. I never experienced anything like that. And I thought, I could not believe it. I couldn't believe it. I didn't understand. How are y'all so rude, bro? Like, what is happening? I'm doing the Lord's work also. Right? Like, we're just in here having a conversation. We're not trying to get a job. We're not trying to get a grant. We're not trying to steal nobody's members. Like, it's just all leaders in here. Baby, silence. Your girl was straight up ignored. And so I was shocked. But once the shock wore off, I'm like, well, maybe I shouldn't be in that space. Then I was invited to speak on a panel. I spoke on a panel. I was so excited about speaking on this panel. I was so excited because I thought, like, oh, this is going to be good. These are other women. They came from traditional churches. It was fine, but it wasn't that good. And all I want, listen, I know it sounds like I'm the problem. And I thought I was the problem. It's not, I'm not the problem, okay? But nobody wanted to connect. I wanted to, let me just tell you this. Let me tell you what I know about ministry, okay? Let me tell you what I know about ministry leadership. There's a boys club, and I don't mean that in like a mean way. I just mean there's a boys club, and so I talked to this bishop. He doesn't live here. He was very nice to me. He was willing to connect and to help. And I love him, and I appreciate him. Bishop Borders, I still follow him. I'm still connected to him on social media. So if you don't know Bishop Borders, follow him. He was not like that. He was so cool and kind to me. I was on his book launch. I was at like his book launch event or whatever. And so we just kind of talked one day. We were at, I think maybe his sister's event or something. I don't know. But we were talking and he was just describing to me what he was doing for his book tour. That's what we were just talking about his book. And I'm like, so, you know, how are you going to promote the book? I think the name of the book, Mentors and Mantles. It might've been one before that. I don't remember. But we're talking about the book or whatever, and I'm asking him how's he going to promote it, and he's telling me all these churches that he's going to go and speak at. He's going to go and preach. He's a pastor, he's a bishop. He's going to go and speak and preach at all these other churches. There's a church conference that they're all doing together, and I'm like, how do you know them? Or like, how do you, he's like, oh, we just kind of connect or whatever. And I was like, do they have one of those for women? And he just sat back. He was like, yeah, no, I don't think so. Like, no, he didn't think so. And I'm like, okay. So when a woman is called to ministry leadership, and when a woman is called to ministry leadership, when a woman is called to be a leader, when a woman is called to be a leader, and she is a servant of Christ, where does she find her support? Where are the groups that do that support women? I feel like you can find those in entrepreneurial spaces. You can find those in even some like church spaces if you're part of a certain denomination. But what if you don't fall under a denomination? Or what if, yes, it's ministry, but it's not traditional ministry, but you still, according to the word of God, we're still supposed to be trained in the word as believers. And so you want to get this high level training because you recognize that you've been called to lead in some space, whether it is in banking or Bible or publishing or, public relations, like whatever it is, you've been called to lead. Like, what about those people? How do they like get trained? Women, how do they get, this encouragement? And unfortunately, there's not a lot of spaces. Now, year before last, maybe, I enrolled in this program, Women in Ministry Leadership. I thought it was amazing. The program itself was great. The learning was absolutely amazing, and it gave me more confidence. Let me not say and it gave me more confidence. Being a part of that space, being a part of that group, being a part of that community, it gave me more confidence. It did not equip me more to do what I do, but being in that network in a space where I didn't have to prove that I was been called to lead or show that I've been called to lead or try and convince somebody that I've been called to lead, just being talked to like I'm a woman in ministry leadership without question, that was a beautiful thing. And that type of support I hadn't experienced until then. And that was just what, last year before last. So it really hasn't been that long, you know? And so when you're a woman who knows that you've been called to lead and you're a believer, you know, when you are not supported and you are overlooked in the ministries where you served, or people are telling you like, yeah, they want you to serve here in this area. Yeah, we'll let you serve in this area. But the area that you feel called to, they're like, no, we don't see that for you. Or no, we don't want you to do that. Or no, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like that, being unsupported and being overlooked as a woman in leadership, that really messes with your confidence. We already struggling with the call on our life. We're already struggling with the assignment. We're already struggling to accept the fact that God has called us to do such a mighty work for the kingdom and for women and men of God. And so now in this practical place, in this natural place, a place where you've been serving, now you've been overlooked for leadership. Now you've been straight up ignored. It causes you to lack confidence. It causes us to question our calling. It fills us with feelings of uncertainty. We feel unprepared. You want me to lead, but who's taught me how to lead? God has called me to lead, but who's going to tell me if I'm doing it right? Who has gone before me? And people like to say, oh, the Lord will do it. The Lord has created us for people. That's why discipleship is the model for spiritual formation, right? It's why discipleship is the model for spiritual formation, because it's done in community with somebody leading and somebody guiding and somebody holding you accountable and somebody holding space and creating space, and you being with like-minded, like-hearted people going in the same direction at the same pace. Sometimes we're going in the same direction as a person, but they're going slower than us. They feel like they got time and we feel like we don't have time. I want to do this as quickly as the Lord will allow me to do it. We have a sense of urgency. Sometimes people don't have a sense of urgency. It's like, oh, I know I'm supposed to do something and I'm going to get around to it, just not today. You want to be in a community when you've been called to lead as a woman. You want to be in a community of people who, one, yes, are going to support you. Two, where you're not going to be overlooked. You're going to be seen, but two, three, where we're going at the same pace. We keeping in step. We're not wasting time. We're not playing like our gift doesn't matter, or like our calling doesn't matter, or like our assignment doesn't matter. We're not doing that, because we recognize whether it's big or small in the eyes of people, big or small even in our own eyes, it's obviously of great importance, because God created us and called us to do it. And anytime the Lord calls a person to do something, it's a part of his plan. He's delivering somebody. It's because he's bringing glory. He's bringing healing to a person, right? Especially when he's calling believers, or it might be he's exacting out judgment. Either way, when we're called, it's for something important, and it's for a time as this. It's not for later. It's not for 5 years from now. It's from right now. And so, when you know that you've been called to lead and you've been unsupported and overlooked, it can cause you to lack confidence. And when you lack confidence, it stalls your action. It stalls your progress. You don't go the way you could. You don't show up consistently. And, I had a desire to lead with confidence. I didn't want to be second guessing all the time. I didn't want to be second guessing all the time, but I did feel uncertain and I did feel unprepared. And so I'm grateful for the programs that I've been in where I've been able to do that. And I'm excited about the program that I've created, right? And it's not a new program. It's a program that has evolved. So you guys know I have Courageous Disciples. If you don't know, Courageous Disciples is a biblical studies program, community membership that teaches women how to rightly interpret the word of God for transformation. And so there's CD1 and CD2. Well, I've run CD1 and then grew to CD2 since like 2017. I've been running that program every single year, maybe multiple times a year. The way and the method and the pace that it's been run has been different. It's been a live cohort. It's been a DIY. The content for the most part stays the same. The impact for the most part stays the same. And now it's a membership, so it's ongoing. You can get in anytime. But what I realized as I served my women for years, there are women who've been in coaching programs with me for years. What I realized and what God revealed to me last year is that, this isn't going to be a program where I get 15,000 people, where I get 1,000 people, where I'm looking to get 18. Courageous disciples, I can handle, I feel like 2 classrooms worth. I'll just open up another Q&A. I can handle 50. First of all, I've been a teacher of 500 students. Okay. Let me just say that I have been a teacher with 500 students. I taught K-5 Spanish, so I can handle it. I just don't prefer that. So with CD, I can take, at least 100 people. I can handle 100 people. That's fine. I'll just open up more Q&A. But with Legacy, Holy Spirit revealed to me last year when I was getting ready to do it, it's not meant for the masses. It's not meant for everybody. It needs to be a small group. So I have Legacy. It's only open to 12 women. This last year, we had 8 women enrolled, and it's been a beautiful thing. But God showing me, because I came from the coaching space, right? And so what you want is a high ticket item, and you want a lot of people to sign up because you're trying to hit these income goals. And I would love to hit an income goal, but it doesn't work that way. This program just doesn't work that way. Legacy isn't meant to be that way. And so it's a program that's evolved, realizing that there are going to be people who come through CD1 and CD2 and they're going to get equipped. You will never approach the Bible the same again. And they will go on and study and lead in their homes and things like that. And that is it. Or they will go on to another program, and that is fine. And that's wonderful. But there's going to be a select few that are going to want to take it up a notch because they are in a space where they recognize they've been called to lead, and they want to be godly leaders. They want to lead like Christ. And so that means that they need to be intentional about their own spiritual formation at a level that is more intense and more intentional than most Christians. And that is just the truth. It's not, it's not a dig. It's none of that. That's just the truth. The women who enroll in Courageous Legacy, they spend more time in the Bible than the average person. They spend more time in prayer and being extremely intentional. They are looking up Greek and Hebrew. They want to understand the context. It's not good enough, right? Like they don't have that, oh, well, it's good enough attitude. It's not a thing for them. They don't have that attitude. It's not like, oh, well, it's good enough. Oh, well, this is good enough. No, they want to know why. They want to understand as much as they can possibly understand. And it's because God is preparing them for leadership. And so Legacy is basically the evolution of Courageous Disciples. It's open to 12 people. I actually have people signed up, so it's not 12. I have 10 spots left. And the doors close on Sunday. I think I said Friday, but I'll let y'all get through the weekend. The doors close on Sunday. And so this program is a program that will equip you. It will help you as a woman to overcome your insecurities. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that we have insecurities. We want to pretend like we don't have them, but your insecurities are showing in your consistency. I'll say it again. Your insecurities are being revealed in your inconsistency. The reason you're inconsistent isn't because you don't know what to do or how to do. It's not because you don't have the strategy. It's not because you don't have the platform. It's not because you don't have the resources or you don't have a person that you can call. It's because you are grappling with insecurities every week. You can talk yourself into sending the email, posting the video, doing the launch, sending the invite, starting the program, but then your insecurities set in, and now you're not promoting it. Your insecurities step in, and now you're not leading the way that you should lead. Now you're second guessing every decision, right? And so Legacy is going to help you to overcome these insecurities. It's going to help you to become even more rooted in the word, and it's going to help you to step into leadership with confidence in God, Confidence that what he gave you is enough, and anything that lacks, he's picking up the slack. Confidence that he's not going to leave you, that he's not going to make a fool of you. Confidence that your voice is needed. I know that there are 13 other people doing it. I know that there are 15 other people doing it. Do you know what? I have to sometimes talk myself into the next thing too. Sometimes I have to talk myself into the next thing, because it's like, I see other people out here are now talking about discipleship. I've been doing discipleship. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this, right? But I see people with bigger names, bigger platforms, bigger reaching, right? Like greater territory, doing things and talking about discipleship. And I've been talking about discipleship. And so it's like, well, these people are talking about discipleship. Do I really need to? Yes, I do. Why? Because somebody's assigned to me, just like somebody's assigned to you. So you need to step into this leadership with confidence, because when you lack confidence, I ain't gonna teach y'all Bible today. I don't intend to teach Bible right now on this call, but when you lack confidence as a leader, it's what happened with Aaron and Moses. Y'all know them in Exodus. Moses, it's in Exodus, right? Moses is at the mountaintop with the Lord, and he up there chilling for 40 days and 40 nights. And Aaron has been called to lead. He was Moses' right-hand man, bringing and delivering the people out of Egypt. God spoke to Moses. Moses spoke to Aaron. Aaron spoke to the folks. Aaron spoke to Pharaoh. Like, they were a team. They were both leading. And so when Moses is with God, he tells Aaron, hey, you stay here with them. Make sure they don't touch the mountain, or they're going to die. Yada, yada, yada. He's up there for 40 days. And while they're up there, the Lord is like, bruh, you need to go down there. Because these people, they didn't run Mahat. They didn't run Mahat. That's what the Lord said. They didn't run Mahat. Okay? They got me heated up here. So go on down there, because they're down there with some foolishness. So Moses gets down to the bottom of the mountain. And what are they doing? They are down there burning and giving offerings and sacrifices to a golden calf that Aaron made. Why did Aaron make it? Because he wasn't a leader that had confidence. It's not because he didn't know God. It's not because he didn't hear. He lacked confidence. So when those people start complaining and saying, hey, what to do, he retreated. He didn't stand flat-footed, 10 toes down, and lean into his leadership and say, okay, we're going to wait on the Lord. We are going to wait on the Lord. I'm not about to give y'all no calf. And anybody that want to leave and go back to Egypt, you can go. But as for me and the folks that stay here, we going to wait on the Lord. He could have led that way, but he lacked confidence. So when the people were crying and moaning and grumbling and all of those things to appease the people, which is not leadership, he didn't give them what they needed. He gave them what they asked for. He didn't give them what they needed. He gave them what they asked for, right? That's weak leadership. That's the lack of confidence. And so when we step into these spaces, because God has called us to these spaces, and we lack confidence, we don't lead with confidence, it causes problems. When we lead with insecurities, it causes problems, I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you to take some time to reflect on your current leadership role. I want you to consider where you are right now. I want you to consider the space and the sphere of influence that you have, not just your zone of genius, but the sphere of influence that you have for your zone of genius, whether it is in a corporate space, whether it's in a traditional church, maybe it's in a non-traditional ministry, maybe it is a nonprofit, and maybe it's in the nonprofit sector. Whatever area you're in, I want you to consider the leadership role and the calling that you have, and how legacy can equip you with the knowledge and community to lead well. I want you to consider that. I want to tell you a little bit, just a tiny little bit, about Courageous Disciples, the legacy cohort, which I will try not to scream because I just get so excited. I get so excited, so I'm trying not to scream. I don't want to scream at y'all. Let me get to this page. Hold on. Let me get to this page because I don't want to forget anything. I'm just going to do a quick little run through and then I'm going to pray and then I'll be done, right? Then I'll be done. Let's see. So legacy, it's more than just a leadership program. This is a journey. And we're together for 12 months. Let me just tell you that 12 months is a long time. I know a lot of programs don't do 12 months because people want to be done in 12 weeks. Everything can't be done in 12 weeks, fam. That's just I don't apologize. Everything can't be done in 12 weeks. Some things take more time, right? Everything can be cooked in the microwave. Please don't cook my sweet potato pie in the microwave. Please don't make my macaroni. Like everything can't be done fast. Some things need to be done slow. They take more time. And that's just the truth because one, we're doing some unlearning, and two, we're starting some new practices. And it takes more than 21 days to start a habit. I know you know that because there's something that you've done for 21 days and then for whatever reason you stop doing it, you ain't doing it no more, right? So it takes more than that to build a habit, to change your lifestyle, to transform your lifestyle, and to pick up some of these other things. And so this is not just a program, it's a journey. And it will change your life. I promise you. I can guarantee it'll change your life because all the things that we do, they're directed by the Holy Spirit. The books that I choose, the work that we do, I will switch. If the Holy Spirit says, oh, this way, if I misunderstood, if I need to gain clarity or something along those lines, I will switch it up, baby. Because one thing we're going to do is get everything the Lord has for us. And so this is not just, it's not like your normal coaching program. I always struggle to share about courageous disciples. Is the same way. I always struggle to share about courageous disciples and legacy. I was just talking to Laverta about it. I'm like, I just don't know what to say to people to help them understand that it will change their life. Because when it comes to ministry and when it comes to leadership, we often look for big names and assume that because the name is big, it means the quality of the work is going to be better. Not always the case. And I know that you know that. And because when it comes to things that have to do with ministry and Bible, I don't know why, but people just think everything is supposed to be fast and free and they could just show up and it's supposed to be easy. They don't have to do any work. Now, this is a program where there's work required. It's not so much work where I'm adding things onto your plate, but it's what's necessary. If we're going to learn about, if we're going to learn about the fundamentals of Christianity, if we're going to be looking at doctrine and theology in a way that you haven't before, it means that you're going to have to take the time to read and study and do the work, not because they're quizzes, but because how can I evangelize if I don't know the answers to these questions? And we need, especially if we've been called to lead, we need to be preparing to answer a question. The word of God says that we need to be able to study so that we can give a good answer. We need to be prepared with that. So we're not just like, I'm not really sure. We need to be prepared to answer in a way that is edifying and illuminating and one that speaks truth. Not some watered down, well, I don't know, I just believe type truth. And in this program, it really is designed to equip you, but to empower you too in your ministry and in leadership. You are going to get tools, community, and biblical foundation to lead with confidence, courage, and of course, clarity. I want to help you step into your God-given call, whether you are already serving in leadership or you're getting ready to launch or you're stepping into a leadership role, or you already know that the Lord has been calling you to lead Bible study or to start a women's ministry or to start a prayer series or an art series or like something, but the Lord is calling you to do it, and faith has to be the foundation of that thing. Your biblical faith has to be the foundation of that thing. It's the way that you're going to disciple people. It's the way that you're going to mentor people into becoming more like Christ. It is designed to help you grow spiritually, like your own personal growth. Yes, it's going to hold you accountable. Yes, it's going to equip you so that you can go out and lead, but it's going to also cause you to grow spiritually. It's going to cause you to mature as a leader, right? It's going to help you to develop as a leader and really and truly be out here killing it in your purpose. There are some key components, right? Let me see. What are they? There'll be training. The training will be based on some of the texts that we'll read. We're going to read the Bait of Satan. We're going to read You Are a Theologian, along with some other systematic theological text. You'll get access to Logos for a year. You'll get a Logos membership for a year. You'll get mentorship and accountability. You have accountability calls every single week. The accountability calls this time around will be Monday nights at 7 p.m., which is really late for me. But again, that's the way the Lord designed it this year. I've always done my accountability calls Monday morning at 8, but this year the Lord said 7 p.m. I say, you sure? He's sure. So that's the way we're doing it. So I don't know who need that 7 p.m. time, but thank the Lord, because baby, we never did it at 7 p.m. for no Monday night accountability. Absolutely not. So you'll have accountability calls. You'll get access. In Legacy, you get access to Courageous Disciples 1 and 2, which is the membership in the program that is currently available for $500 for the year or $60 a month. You get access to that being a part of Legacy. You get access to all the modules and the workbooks and all the things, right? Which means you also get access to their Q&A, which happens Thursday nights. I think also at 7, but maybe at 6. I don't remember. If you sign up, you'll see it. It'll be in an email somewhere. And then I do 8 trainings for the month. So they're mostly monthly trainings, except for we don't have trainings over the summer, and I don't do a training in December. You will get community, which is really my favorite thing about it, is being able to glean from, hear, encourage, equip, and really be empathized with like somebody that gets it, how difficult it is to say yes to the call in your life and continue to show up even when life is lifing. That community, being a part of like-minded leaders who are on the same journey. This community is a source of encouragement, definitely holding you accountable. Don't get on those calls saying you're going to launch something, you're going to start something and not follow through. Because baby, the women in this community, they looking, oh, I thought you said you was going to start an Instagram. I thought you said you was going to do a podcast. I thought you, when your podcast dropping, when your YouTube, oh, you said you're going to start a book club. How's the book club going? What are you doing with that? These are women that are going to hold you accountable to follow through on the things that God is leading you to do. So that thing is amazing. And obviously there's going to be personal growth. You know, I believe that leadership, like I can lead above my level of maturity, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. I can't lead above that. And so if I'm going to be a better leader at the end of the year, it means that throughout the year, I need to be working on my own personal growth. And as you grow spiritually, emotionally, and intellectually, because of the work that we do, you'll be equipped to lead others with confidence. You'll feel good. Like oh no, I can do this because I know what I need to be doing. And I've set my things up for success. You know, we're not just, I want you to understand this program, if I can explain it. We're not just reading text and growing over here. We are reading text and growing over here and applying it in the ministries that we lead. So when we learn something over here, right, we're going to apply it right here. Oh, we learned about, spiritual warfare. Oh, we learned about Sabbath. Oh, we learned about silence and solitude or confess. So we're going to be taking a Sabbath now. We're going to be scheduling. Oh, we learned about fasting. Okay, we're going to be scheduling a fast now. When are we going to be fasting as a regular thing? So whatever we learn, we are about implementation and execution. That is how it works. Oh, I learned this thing. How are you going to use this thing in the program that you're running, in the ministry, in your mentorship program, in the nonprofit, on the job that you have, in your corporate job? How are you going to use that in your new position, right? And then we have a retreat this year. We've never had a retreat for Legacy. We've never had a retreat for Legacy. I do a retreat for the church. We do Faith Ignited, which we've had, and we have a 4th one coming up. But I never do a retreat for Legacy. I'm not sure why, actually, because I love my people. I've never done a retreat for like my for my coaching clients before. I've never done that. And so this will be my first retreat for coaching clients, which is bananas because a girl loves a retreat. That's another reason it's going to be small. That's another good reason for it to be 12 months. I'm not staying in the house with people I don't know. I'm not even going to act like I'm that type of person. I'm not. Nobody stay in the house with them. I don't know them. But I love my clients like in real life, not just like kinda. And so the idea of spending time with them, leading them, being in the same space is something that it's something that excites me, if I'm honest. And so we're going to have a retreat. It's in October. The dates, I think, are the 27th through the 29th. It's going to be a huge part of this because it's going to be a dedicated time to really step away from the busyness of life and really time to reflect and pray and connect with God and the other women in the program. It's going to be I can't tell y'all what else because it's a surprise. I want to tell y'all what else, but it's going to be a time for something else too. It's going to be exactly what you need when October comes. But I can't tell y'all because I know some people on here, they already signed up and I don't want them to know about what the surprise is. But it's good and it's going to be really good. Okay. And it's really a chance for a deep spiritual renewal, a time to like take a break from the stuff that we do, personal connection. This is what allows us to build real relationships, right? The fact that the program is a year long, that we are holding each other accountable. We're not only looking at the content, we are looking at the lives and the journey that we're on in our personal lives and in our professional lives, and how these things kind of all mesh together. So we are friends online for 12 months, sometimes in the DM, sometimes on a phone call, right? And now we've created this relationship, this bond, and now we get to be in the same space. That solidifies the relationship like you would not believe. We're going to be in the same house. We're all going to stay together. The food will be family style. All of your meals will be provided. The only thing you'll need to do is get there. So your accommodations and your food will be provided, but your transportation to and from Orlando, Florida is not included. Orlando is a great city to fly into, international airport. You will be able to get a Uber. It's not like coming to some of these other cities. Like, am I even going to be able to get an Uber? You'll be able to get an Uber. You know, no matter what time, day or night, you have a flight, you will be good because it's that type of location. And so, you know, I want you to come. And I think that you already know that it's more than just like learning about leadership skills. And, you know, it's about becoming the leader that you are meant to be, that God created you to be. It's about equipping you with deep theological understanding. Yes, I said theological understanding. With deep theological understanding and real life. When we have deep theological understanding, that when people ask us questions and those questions cannot be found in the book, we have enough understanding of the word of God and the will and the way of God to say, well, this is the essence of this thing. And so this is the way that we want to look at it. We are better equipped, and we feel more confident honestly, right? When we know why we believe what we believe and what it is, and we can see it and we've made the connection. Somebody just hasn't handed it to us. It allows us to give better advice truthfully and lead better, you know? If you join Legacy, you will absolutely get clarity in your purpose. 100%. You will start to thrive in your leadership instead of just like surviving or making or not quitting. Sometimes we're doing just like the bare minimum. I'm just getting by. I'm just making it. I'm just showing up for this call. I'm just getting in here. No, you are going to start. Maybe the word isn't thrive. Maybe it's flourish. Maybe they mean the same thing. It's going to help you flourish in leadership. It is going to deepen your faith. It's not, I cannot express this enough. I don't know if I have the right words, but it's not so much about your like external leadership skills, like, oh, I can do a spreadsheet. So I don't even know. But it's not about that. It's about building a stronger inner foundation, your relationship with God. And it's like you can have a strong relationship with God and then you're called to lead, and then you see your foundation not as strong as you thought it was. We'll practice spiritual disciplines together. Through spiritual disciplines and the theological studies that we do and regular reflection, you will have weekly reflection. You will have, I'm going to say it again, you will have weekly reflection. Through that, you will strengthen your walk with Christ and you will learn how to lead others in their faith. You will be able to connect with like-minded women going in the same direction with the same level of commitment to their own spiritual formation, the same level of commitment to leading, which is one of the most, in my opinion, powerful aspects of legacy is the community. These are the best women on the planet. I pray for them. And when I say I pray for them, I mean, I'm praying right now about the women who will be in. I'm praying right now about the women who are going to get in. It's why I keep saying over and over, this is not the place if you need me to convince you that you're a leader. Leading is hard enough. We don't need that in that space. I think if you're not sure that you've been called to lead, Courageous Disciples is a great community. It's going to help you to build a foundation where you can hear clear and you can start to accept that you've been called to lead. But if you've accepted that you've been called to lead, you're deciding to accept that I have been called to lead and I want to get equipped to do that. And I know that I've recognized that the work I've been called to do is ministry because I'm a child of the kingdom. And so anything I do in word or in deed, I have to do so it's unto God. Any place I've been expected to be in, no matter what the job is, I'm expected to be the salt and the light. People should be able to follow me as I follow Christ, even if I'm not a pastor, even if I'm not a minister. Right? If you know that, this is the space for you because these are women who have a passion for their ministry. These are women who are going to support you, who are going to pray for you. They're not just going to say they're going to pray for you. They're going to pray for you right now. Y'all going to pray together and they're going to challenge you to grow in ways that you haven't seen before. They're going to challenge you to grow in new ways. Why? Because they have an ear to hear God also. You're going to get real world tools for real world leadership. Throughout the program, you'll get practical tools that you can immediately implement in your ministry. You'll be able to get tools that you can immediately implement in your business or whatever your leadership role is, from speaking and teaching to personal growth strategies, conflict management, resolution, like all of those things, right? If you are ready to join Legacy, you can DM me wherever you're watching this, and I will send you the link. Now, wait. I know I talked for a long time. Wait a second. Don't DM me yet. Let me just say this real quick. If you have come through Courageous Disciples 1 or 2, 1 and 2, if you've come through Courageous Disciples, then you can just enroll. Because I know that you have a good foundation. I know what I taught. I know that you got it. Even if you ain't doing it, I know that you have access to the tools and the resources you need so you can double down, right? And so I know that. But if you haven't, it's fine that you haven't been through CD1, but we've got to get on a call. So when you DM me, if I know that you've been through CD, I'm just going to send you the link so that you can enroll. And if you DM me and I don't recognize the name, I know you haven't been through CD, then I'm going to send you a link for booking a call with me. You've got to book a call with me. You cannot sign up. If you sign up, I will send your money back. Okay. I will refund your money immediately. If you sign up and you have not been through CD 1 or 2, and we have not gotten on a call, I will be refunding your money. You will not be enrolled in Legacy. Okay. It's not for you. Okay. Or it might be, but I don't know. It ain't for you because you don't follow instructions. So don't sign up if you haven't been through CD. All right. I can't answer any questions over here on Instagram, but I can see them. If you have questions, I see y'all are commenting, but I can't scroll on this Instagram. When I'm over here on this Instagram, I cannot do anything over here. So I can see that somebody said they've experienced this. Tell me what you've experienced, because I got it up on this page now. Thank you, Ebony, that I'm doing amazing work. This is so vital. You know what, Ebony? It is vital. It is vital. I'm in these groups and I see people asking questions and getting the wrong answers. And I think to myself, why are they asking these people? They don't know these questions. Well, because they don't have a person. I've been leading these live events, doing these live events and going to these places and meeting women and talking to them. And there is this desire for discipleship. There is this desire to be held accountable. There's this desire to be, for somebody to expect more of you than just like Oh, well, the Lord knows your heart. Oh, there's just, we're going to grace ourselves into hell. There is a desire to actually have discipleship. And there's a lot of people talking about it, but it's hard to find a place where you can be discipled. You know, it's, it's, it's hard to find a place where you can be discipled. And so I love that I get to do this work. Love that I get to do this work. All right, I don't see any questions in any of these spaces. DM me. It doesn't cost you anything to talk to me. Okay. It doesn't cost you anything to get on my list and see if this is a good fit for you. It's not, it doesn't like, just get on my little call list. We'll talk. And I'll tell you, I've had a woman I told before, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't have a program for you. When she was ready to sign up, I'm like, I can't help you with none of that stuff that you said. So this is not really the program for you, right? I have done that. I will do that again. I don't mind doing it because I want to make sure you're in the right space. And if you're not supposed to be here, then you don't need to be here because it'll keep you from being where you actually need to be, you know? So if you're gonna sign up, sign up. Don't wait. All right, that's it. I think that's all. Who knew I was going to talk for an hour? I'm going to go live again tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Yeah, I'm going to go live again tomorrow. I don't know what time, but it will not be for an hour. Okay. I promise you that. Let me not promise. I was just kidding. I take it back. All right. I love y'all. I pray that this bless you. And I hope to hear from you. I hope that you sign up or you share this with somebody that needs to shine up. So if you're ready to step into, the leadership that God has called you to, and you're ready to get equipped with, the resources and the tools and the confidence and support, then I want you to apply for Legacy 2025. I hope to see you on my calendar or on my list. All right. Love y'all. Bye. Thank y'all for sticking with me too. Okay. Later.